It's a risk to be me. The Zanesville Y Bridge is a historic Y-shaped three-way bridge that spans the confluence of the Licking and Muskingum rivers in downtown Zanesville, Ohio. I used to stand on that bridge. I'd watch the Licking with its gurgling pools meander from the east in a southerly way towards my father's part of town, while the Muskingum rushed south, its depths whispering tales of transporting American refugees who fought its current via the Underground Railroad towards hopes of freedom. Its lusty gurgle accompanying my mother on her walks to school. My favorite view, the rail beneath which the two rivers crashed together, in a sense creating something new as they poured out onto the magnificently wild and unpredictable Ohio River. I'd contemplate life there in that Y-shaped space. I am a super proud, Black, history-loving, river-running, biologically female-bodied, transmasculine, genderqueer, social activist hillbilly. I just happen to be one of the co-founders of His Kings. My story actually begins decades before I was born. My great-grandmother, Florence Elizabeth Ferris Adams, was a handsome woman with a beautiful, deep voice and hands that were big and strong, manly even. Used to work in the plow, wringing chicken necks, beating the dust out of carpets and clapping for God. She held her chin high, back sturdy as a pine tree trunk. Florence was an avid civil rights activist and didn't take no stuff. She never met an eye without being direct. She spoke with authority. Not one cracker even dared to mess with her. And this was in Zanesville, Deep South Ohio, a hotbed for the KKK. The risks she took were incredible, yet they elicited respect and truthfully evoked a little fear. She was just so dag-burned bold and righteous. Big Momma, that's what everybody called her, was married to a reverend with a wandering eye. She never divorced him, most likely due to the scandal it would have created. Regardless, she chose to be single, a single mother and principal breadwinner for her small family. She used every resource available to her, not just to get by, but to thrive. She worked her garden, took in laundry, traded pickles and eggs and this wonderful relish called cha-cha. Not an easy feat when you consider she was doing a majority of this during the Great Depression. Folks, Big Momma was always a risk taker. These risk-taking traits coursed through me like the conflux of the Muskingum and Licking rivers coalescing beneath the apex of the Y-City Bridge before rushing and gushing into the mighty Ohio, giving me substance, energy to keep moving on, historical grit, and though I didn't know it then, to continue her legacy of risk. Fast forward to me as a little girl. Saying that I was a tomboy and hated girls' wear is really an understatement. And it did not help that my model-esque sister was the picture of femininity. I look back on pictures of me then, and honey, believe me when I tell you, bad drag queen. They had to have seen it always the captain of the Starship Enterprise or the SS Minnow, never the damsel in distress, unless I was Agent 99 from Get Smart, pretending to be weak so I could sock him in the eye. I drove my mother insane, strutting around like a peacock. Her words, unbecoming of a budding lady. My word, ugh. She forbade me at age 12 to play football with the boys because she felt it wasn't fair how hard I was hitting them. And, well, they couldn't hit me back because I was a girl. Little did she know, I was almost always the queer they were trying to smear, regardless of whether or not I had the balls. See, I'm pretty sure I just scared the crap out of folks. I used to practice my super fly walk, helped every perfumed lady in church as best I could. I actually practiced booming my voice like the pastors did in preparation for what I believed would be a commanding career as a preacher. That is, until my dreams were dashed by learning only men could be preachers and that I would have to settle for being a minister's wife, being careful not to outshine him. The news was almost as shocking as the fact that the 3 shirts didn't hide my budding boobs anymore. And while everybody was so happy, perhaps relieved that I was getting breast, I was depressed. It was, and it is, a risk being me. Big Mama saw me. Like charting a river's twists and turns, she was always working in tidbits about how to navigate and to survive. She constantly reminded me that I was smart. Not just intelligent, but smart to people's ways and how they operate. She would mentor me, speak exactly, always look a person in the eye. Not only do you see their truth, allow them to see yours. There is always a blessing. Often you will have to accept it. Be proud of your accomplishments and even prouder of your mistakes, because that's where God is teaching. We are given faith. You better use it. I had known since age 8 that I was different. And since age 14 that it wasn't just because I wanted to kiss a girl. We didn't have the words genderqueer or transmasculine then. Though I would wrestle with Big Mama's advice, college allowed me to let people see me the way she did. It is there my life would begin a trajectory that is nothing short of amazing. In grad school, I would meet Julie Applegate, and through a series of conversations, we realized we really were just tired of gay men owning kitsch, pop, and gay culture. We hungered for something more than comfortable shoes and girls with guitars, the lesbian feminist way of being in 1990s. She was a budding DJ, and I, a lover of drag queens. Julie's friend Helen Harris and her buddies Yvette Domalewski and Sue Steiner were into this new thing of female to male cross-dressing. Their first initials gave me an idea for the name of the show mixed with a play on drag queens. It was perfect, the His King Show, where the best looking boys just happened to be girls. On September 13, 1995, I came out on stage as Lustivious Dela Virgion. My drag king, Luster, was a drag queen. The house was so packed that night, we had to sneak our friends in the back door and add a second show. By January, Shawnee Sky and Heidi Matson joined the founders team, and 4 years later, we connected with Donna Troca and hosted a conference called the International Drag King Extravaganza. In 2017, I.D.K.E. will celebrate its 21st year and be hosted once again in Columbus, Ohio. Because of his kings and IDKE, I have traveled the world encouraging people to be their authentic selves. I have been heard to say that I don't know how I was able to be alive, stay in it, stay positive, and so on. But the truth is, Florence E. Adams, Big Momma, mentored me, taught me that risks are every bit worth taking. I believe we all need risk mentors. Find yours. Soak up everything they say and do. Weed out those folks that encourage you to be scared, to stay in your lane, to stay safe. Seek beings that are willing to dream with you and hold on tight. Remind yourself that nothing great has happened without enormous risk. Take a big old breath and live. A speechwriter would tell you to end where you begin, but a river doesn't do that. It ebbs and it flows, eventually spilling and spreading out into the ocean, vast, mysterious, unabashed, and free. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you.